Well, yet again we have another beautiful sunset. The end of another lovely summer's day. What a summer we've had this year. And the sun has just gone below the horizon, and you can see the rays of the sun just coming up below those clouds. I imagine that those clouds will grow ever more intensely orange. But a lovely evening, 12th of August today, night of the Perseid meteor shower maximum, although that's largely drowned out by the presence of a very bright gibbous moon. Might get to see some. Well, I don't know, I will be keeping an eye out. But this is Red Hill at Eakring. Many of you will recognise this view, and I'm after migrants tonight. Well, isn't that just a beautiful sky again? It's so peaceful and well off the road. You may well be able to make out the sound of a distant car, but this is a lovely spot. I do love coming here. In fact, I was talking to Jim the farmer today. He rang me up and we were talking about this and that, and I told him I was going to be trapping up here and why I like trapping up here. I like to come back to Eakring area, to Loudwood, and to this spot at Red Hill. I love it. Wouldn't be most people's choice of sites, but farmland does have things to offer. But it's the location that always attracts me to this particular spot, because it's open, it's on top of a hill, and so it has the potential to drag in migrant moths as they fly through. But even if I don't catch any, it's nice spending a minute or two looking at that beautiful sky. Well, the first moths are already in. There's a couple of orange swift and a single common wainscot. By the looks of it, swifts are always typically in very early, almost as soon as you switch the light on. So a promising start to hopefully what's going to be a really good trapping session. Well, here's one of the now 3 orange swifts which have settled on the sheet. They do settle quite quickly, actually, swifts, probably more so than the other swifts that we get earlier in the summer, but it's relatively easy to identify. It may appear similar to the other swifts, but the difference is this is the latest flying of those swifts, so you can pretty much identify this by time of year alone. But a nice one to start us off. So there are 3 in now, a couple of water veneers, very promising start. Well, already plenty of insects on the sheet, lots of water boatmen of varying sizes, even some of the larger species are coming in. A number of water veneers too, all typical stuff really that you'd expect on a warm and rather humid night that we have. That breeze, well, I can't feel it here at all. It wasn't much of a breeze anyway, but The insects are certainly coming in, and virtually all of these are waterborne species. Often surprises people how many sort of waterborne species turn up at light. Lots of water beetles do, lots of caddisflies do, and water boatmans. And they can turn up long way from where you think the nearest water is. Always nice to see lots of insects, and that's been a feature of 2025. Now here's a joyous little thing. I love Chinese character. I think it's a beautiful little moth. It's in position the same as this. It's quite a unique sort of shape, but beautifully marked, sort of that pale sort of white silvery ground colour, and then those delicate grey sort of shades, almost verging on brown. It's a beautiful little thing. And within those grey shades in the centre of the wing is a white mark, and that's where this moth gets its name of Chinese character, apparently. But what a lovely little thing. It's common, widespread, will turn up even in probably in the most urban of sites, and most welcome it is too. Well, it's a busy sheet, and there's decent numbers of moths starting to come in now. The sky is now completely dark. There may well be a slight trace of twilight along the northern horizon, but at least once you get into August, you actually do get several hours of complete darkness. Not always what you want to hear, perhaps, knowing that the longer nights are coming in. So it's important to make the most of suitable conditions that you get from now onwards throughout the autumn. But we've still got plenty of summer still to come, and some very nice conditions coming in the next few nights too for moth trapping. Well worth trying to get that trap out, whether it's in your garden or somewhere more rural like this, or maybe your local woodland. It is a wonderful hobby. Very nice indeed. And of course, once you've trapped all your moths on a night time, depending what method you use, then the following day is usually spent, or the majority of it, identifying your catch or photographing those specimens that you've got or to take home. I haven't got any to take home yet. I have got one thing to take with me, and it's a weevil, but nothing in the moth line as yet to warrant me potting it up to photograph in the morning and determine the identity. Oh, that's a nice evocative picture depicting the joys of moth trapping. Whether the moonlight interferes with the number of moths, I'm still not convinced that it does, especially on nights like this where the temperature is a very nice 16 degrees centigrade. That kind of temperature makes it very hard sleeping at night, and so quite often it's better to be out here doing this than trying to sleep in uncomfortably warm conditions. I'm lucky because I can do it. I can just up and off into the dark. Not everyone can, but I know that a lot of people get enjoyment from watching these videos, and I like to try and put over that, say, there is more to this whole night than just trapping of moths. It's an experience, it's something pleasurable. And what a beautiful night too. Little bits of cloud, a gibbous moon, and moths around the light, and a flask of tea which has my name written all over it. When you get a basic idea of what we've got and what we've had on the sheet. Still lots of moths coming in. Of course, what will turn up after midnight? Will anything turn up? I have a feeling that something will. I can feel it in my old bones, you know. But what it will be, I have no idea. As you can see, plenty of moths around on the sheet, and since I made a comment a while ago about there not being many of the grass veneers, the number of Agricola tristella has increased greatly. Still nothing to what we used to get years ago, but it's a species that will no doubt increase over the years. That's providing we get some summers with a little bit more rain. But at least this summer we've had, well, this is the 4th heat wave they're calling it now. But it has been interspersed with a little bit of rain, which has certainly helped. It's been the ideal breeding season, really, for many species. Well, we're past midnight, and there's been a notable decline in the moths coming into the light. Very few are actually coming into the light at the moment, and the activity of the moths on the sheet has also dropped. A lot are now settled down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remain until 1 o'clock just to see whether anything suddenly turns up, something unusual perhaps, and then we'll probably call it a night and head for home. The temperature's gone down to 13. Now, I didn't expect the temperature to be as low as 13. I thought we'd get down to 16 and maybe 15, and that would be that, but lower than what I thought. But whether it's that drop in temperature, which is 8 degrees on where we started a few hours ago, coupled with the moon being bright and higher in the sky, I don't know. But at the moment, there's not so much moth activity. But we'll have a cup of tea and see what happens in the meantime. Well, it's 1 o'clock and I'm just about to get ready to switch the light off and start packing up, but I did end up with one nice moth to round the evening off, and it's a migrant, and it's dark swordgrass. Not the rarest of migrants, but in Nottinghamshire it's certainly not an everyday moth, and not even an annual moth as far as I'm concerned in my trapping experience. So a nice one to finish the night off. Decent species list for this particular site. We're over 50 species, so I'm quite happy with that. Just disappointed that the temperature went a little bit lower than what I was expecting, but a nice session nonetheless here at Red Hill, just outside the village of Eakring. So, time to pack up.